We are back with the best investigative reporter in the city of Chicago, Dane Placco, my colleague here at Fox 32 News. I do. And you reported that a Chicago alderman may be in hot water, some legal hot water, after you found her offering residents of her community a chance to win prizes if they cast votes.
Believe it or not, 5th Ward Alderman Leslie Hairston has since pulled the post off her Facebook page, not after it caught the attention, though, of the Cook County State's Attorney.
We went to the Southside office of 5th Ward Alderman Leslie Hairston to see if they're really handing out prizes for voting.
Hi, good. Dane with Fox 32. Hi. Wondering if I can enter the raffle.
This post on the alderman's Facebook page went up telling residents they could win raffle prizes if they go to the polls. Hairston's instructions: vote. You're eligible no matter the candidate. Then put their name and contact information on the back of the voter receipt and stop by the 5th Ward office to drop it off. Among the raffle prizes, gift cards from area businesses, including Walgreens, Potbelly's, and Starbucks, plus $100 Visa gift cards. We showed the Facebook post to election attorney Bert Odelson.
Is this okay?
No, not okay.
Is it legal?
No, not legal. It violates Article 29-1 of the Election Code,
which bans the practice of vote buying and carries a Class 4 felony.
And that section is very specific that you cannot offer anything, money or anything of value, to entice someone to vote one way or the other, or just to vote.
We caught up with the alderman at City Hall on a break from budget hearings.
You offer gift cards for people who came in with a voting slip.
Well, that is not exactly it.
How am I wrong?
The post is now gone.
Well, the post was up for some time.
And it's now gone.
Indeed, the raffle post had disappeared from Hairston's Facebook page by early afternoon.
Do you understand why people suddenly became alarmed about this?
When we found out, we took it down.
Later, Hairston issued a statement. My only intent was to encourage people to exercise their right to vote. There was no subterfuge involved at any time. It may not have been well thought out, but it was well intentioned.
It is a throwback to the old hinky-dink days, to tell you the truth, when it was commonplace to buy a person's vote, and it was a big joke. But this is Chicago.
Chicago, indeed. A spokesperson for Cook County State's Attorney Anita Alvarez tells me their election fraud unit was made aware of that post and has since opened an investigation. Now, by the way, Hairston's office says no one who had entered the raffle by the time it was taken down Tuesday afternoon. So they're essentially saying, Mike, no harm, no foul. And what's interesting about this, and you know Alderman Hairston, she actually is one of the more progressive members of the city council, one of the more independent. She voted against the parking meter deal. You remember that? She's been battling City Hall over the red light cameras and the speed cameras.
She's a former assistant attorney general, Illinois attorney general.
She's a lawyer, and one would have expected she would have known better, but
let me ask you, do you see there, certainly when you know, from earlier in the week we saw absentee vote totals, we saw early vote totals. There are signs, both in the city and the suburbs, that turnout is going to be higher than it was 4 years ago.
Yeah, the conventional wisdom, midterm elections, nobody cares, nobody votes. But I think this race, this governor's race in particular, is driving a lot of interest here in Illinois. I mean, you can't, we were joking about it before, you can't avoid paying attention to it every time you turn on the television. There's ads running. Will that leak over to the municipal elections next year, early next year? I don't know. Possibly.
It does feel to me like a bit like the fall of 1982 when Eddie Verdoliak in the ethnic parts of town and then Harold Washington supporters in the African American community were both cranking up turnout for the 1982 governor's race. They almost helped. Adlai Stevenson came in the 5,000 votes of beating Jim Thompson, but it really wasn't about the governor's race. It was a prelude to the city election, and of course,
there was a carryover.
Mayor Emanuel now facing Chuy Garcia as a potential entrant. You think he'll be able to get, he wants to raise $3 to $5 million. He's got to get the signatures by November 24th. You think that'll
I think getting the signatures probably will be less of a problem than raising the money. I mean, Chuy Garcia has been a commissioner for the Cook County Board for a handful of years, but he doesn't have a very high political profile. He, like Hairston, is known as a progressive. He's been a pretty no-nonsense politician down through the years. But he doesn't have a name. He doesn't have a name.
And he was knocked off in his own community. He was a state senator, and he was knocked off by Mayor Daley's old Hispanic Democratic organization, the HDO. In fact, Garcia was one of their first scalps. But nonetheless, he will run an ideological, a left ideological campaign against Mayor Emanuel.
But Alderman Fioretti is sort of in that territory already, right?
I think that Garcia will be to the left of Fioretti, and I think, and he's also been on the phone several times with the ailing Karen Lewis, you know, fighting the brain tumor. And the teachers union has signaled that they are going to help collect petition signatures for Garcia.
Yeah. Well, I think the municipal election's coming up. I mean, we'll boil that kettle of fish when we get to it, but it's not going to be quite as interesting as it could have been.
Dane Placco, thank you very much. You're going to be with
Governor Quinn on
election
night.
And you're
I'll
also
be getting
my
sleep that morning.
Be there
yes,
tonight, Sunday night. You're going to give us a little preview about that.
That's
we
right.
have much more election news coming up. Ro Khan, the well-known commentator, is here. You're watching Fox 32 Sunday.